Let me ask you something. If I told you that your dinner plate could either raise or lower your risk of diabetes, would you believe me? For years, we've been told diabetes is mostly about sugar, weight, or familial history. But here's a surprising truth. What you eat, and specifically whether your diet leans on plants or meat, plays a powerful role in how your body handles blood sugar. And if you're vegetarian, you may already have an advantage. But, and this is important, not all plant based diets are equal. Eating potato chips and soda technically counts as vegetarian, but it does nothing to stabilize your blood sugar. The real secret lies in how plants work with your metabolism on a chemical level. Let's start with fiber. You probably know it's good for digestion, but here's what's fascinating. Fiber acts like a time release capsule for your bloodstream. When you eat foods rich in fiber, they slow the release of glucose, preventing those dangerous blood sugar spikes that wear down your insulin response over time. For example, think about two breakfasts: white toast with jam versus steel cut oats with walnuts. The first meal gives you a rush of glucose and then a crash. It leaves you tired and craving more sugar. The second meal, loaded with soluble fiber, feeds your body slowly, keeping energy steady for hours. That stability reduces your long term diabetes risk because it keeps your insulin from constantly being in overdrive. Now, here's something you might not know about. Certain plant fats actually improve how your body uses insulin. Omega 3 fatty acids from sources like flax or algae help your cell membranes stay flexible, which makes it easier for glucose to move inside those cells. In other words, the right fats literally open the door for sugar to leave your bloodstream and fuel your body. So let's picture this for one moment. You finish a workout and your muscles are ready to absorb glucose for recovery. If your diet includes these healthy plant fats, your cells respond quickly to insulin, pulling sugar into the muscle where it can be used for energy instead of floating in your blood, causing damage. That's not just prevention, that's active blood sugar management. Protein also plays a bigger role than people think, especially plant protein. When you swap red or processed meats for beans, lentils, or tofu alternatives, you reduce compounds that create inflammation, and inflammation makes your cells resistant to insulin. Here's a practical example with this. Someone who regularly eats vegetarian chili with beans instead of chili with beef isn't just cutting saturated fats. They're reducing inflammatory triggers that would otherwise make their body less responsive to insulin. Over time, that shift helps maintain more stable blood sugar control meal after meal. Now, let's talk about a nutrient that flies under the radar. That nutrient is magnesium. Most people associate it with muscle relaxation or sleep, but magnesium is essential for how your body manages glucose. It's a cofactor in more than 300 biochemical reactions, and one of its jobs is helping insulin escort sugar into your cells. The problem? Many vegetarian diets are low in magnesium, but vegetarian diets that include leafy greens, nuts, and whole grains can restore it naturally. Think of magnesium as the key that unlocks a cell door so sugar can move out of your blood. Without enough keys, glucose builds up, and that's the pathway toward type 2 diabetes. Here's where people often get confused about carbs. The word itself has almost been a villain, but the type of carbohydrate matters far more than the quantity. Whole plant foods contain complex carbs wrapped in fiber, antioxidants, and minerals that help regulate blood sugar. Highly processed carbs, those are the ones that spike you fast and drop you hard. The difference in a real life situation would be a bowl of lentil soup versus a bowl of white pasta. Both contain carbohydrates, but the lentil soup releases glucose slowly, keeps you full longer, and even provides protein. The pasta breaks down almost instantly into sugar, leaving you hungry again. That's why plant based eating done correctly doesn't just lower but diabetes risk, it rewires how your metabolism handles carbs. That's why plant based eating done correctly doesn't just lower diabetes risk, It rewires how your metabolism handles carbs. Another critical piece to this is how much you weigh, your body weight. Excess fat around the abdomen makes it harder for insulin to work, which is why obesity is such a strong predictor of diabetes. Vegetarian diets naturally tend to be lower in calorie density. That means you can eat satisfying portions without consuming massive amounts of energy your body doesn't need. For example, compare a plate of roasted vegetables with a creamy meat-based casserole. The first fills your stomach with far fewer calories but delivers more nutrients. That calorie balance over weeks and months supports a healthy weight, which directly improves insulin sensitivity. So, can plants really stabilize blood sugar? The evidence says yes. By delivering fiber that slows glucose, fats that make cells more responsive, proteins that reduce inflammation, magnesium that acts as the metabolic key, and carbohydrates that come in smarter forms, vegetarian diets attack the problem from multiple angles. And the beauty of it is, this doesn't require extreme restriction. It's not about cutting out entire food groups. It's about building meals that naturally create stability, like a vegetable stir fry with brown rice and cashews, or a hearty lentil stew with greens. Meals like this don't just fill you up, they teach your body how to use glucose efficiently. So, the bottom line for this is, if you're a vegetarian, you already have powerful tools at your fingertips to lower your risk of diabetes and stabilize your blood sugar. And if you're not a vegetarian, leaning more heavily into plant-based meals, even part of the time, still delivers these benefits. The real question isn't, can plants help? The real question is, are you using them in a way that supports your metabolism? Or are you letting processed foods sneak in and undo the work? Because when you put the right plants on your plate, you're not just eating, you're actively training your body to manage blood sugar better today and for decades to come. If this video helped you, there's so much more waiting for you on Plants Feed the Soul. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next tip. I'll see you in the next video.